that stands is surrounded by rich history. Our ancestors walked its outskirts for thousands of years. We have a deep connection to this place. We lived along the bays of the lake, just south of here. There our people lived in abundance. Abundant in fish, abundant in culture, a rich life surrounded by strong community. Wiri is our ancestral being. It travels up and down the coastline year after year. And upon his return to Cologne, it brings with him new seasons. Flowers bloom, fish widen, death and birth. The cyclical nature of all living things comes and goes before our eyes, as does he and his seasonal visit. Even when he is not in sight, we know that he is close by because there is much change in the air.
It's a good afternoon from Allianz Stadium as we kick off the coverage on one of the most important days on the Rugby League calendar. ANZAC Day holds a very special place in the hearts of many Australian and New Zealanders as they get the chance to honour the servicemen and women who defended their countries. As we build to the traditional ANZAC Day fixture between the Roosters and Dragons, we get the chance to see some of those servicemen in action on the big stage here today. It's the Australian Army taking on the Australian Defence Force Combined Services in the ANZAC Day curtain raiser. I'm Tony Salerno. It's great to have you along the stream on NRL.com. We're picking up a big day, one of the biggest days on the calendar, ANZAC Day. With some great servicemen who represent our country. We're going to head down to the field very shortly for the national anthem to kick off proceedings and a really exciting game. If you're able, please stand and remove your hats to the national anthem of Australia. There is the Australian national anthem. It's a good applause, the crowd filtering in. Of course, we're leading up to the main game between the Sydney Roosters and St George Illawarra Dragons on ANZAC Day. Exciting for these servicemen and women. We'll hear more about their stories throughout the game. We play 30-minute halves. The Australian Army in the red with the gold numbering, and the combined services in the green and gold with the white numbering. Tim Krellin in the middle. He'll be running things for the ADF at halfback. It's been 125 years since the Australian Army formed, and they'll be looking to salute today on ANZAC Day. The ANZAC Day coverage is a go. Off the boot of Krellin from the Australian Defence Force Combined Services. And straight upfield goes Sam Collins, the front rower. Those two sides for the Australian Army with the ball in their hand. And fullback David Tabuai. On the wings, Israel Tayatini and Ethan Muller. The centres are Millard Noor and Blake Wallace in jersey 4. 5'8" is Barry Rutley, the vice-captain. And the first penalty of the game going the way of the Australian Army. So they'll get a good chance to go up the field. Viliami Manu, the halfback, with the ball in his hand. Collins, we spoke about at prop. Lachlan Barnes and also Joel Muller in jersey 10. Back row of Isaac Carpenter, Tim Cochran and Sam Fermor. On the bench, Rob Meeks, Tony Taufua, Darcy Hardman, Casey Rose, Bailey Maxton in 22. Dane Thompson and Regan Nielsen. Into enemy territory, go the Australian Army. We'll get to the combined services when they touch the footy. Ball playing good. Good line run by Isaac Carpenter. Getting his team in the danger zone. First real attacking opportunity of the day. Off the left boot of Rutley. It's a high kick. The wind picking up. And what a take! A spectacular first try for the Australian Army. And on the big stage, they've produced something special. Israel Talataini gets the try. And the Australian Army lead 4-0. What a start. A pinpoint kick and an almighty catch. Taiatini rises highest. Ethan Muller with the first try of the game. For the Australian Army, the Australian the combined services haven't even touched the ball yet. First set of penalty, up the ground they go. A high kick, which resulted in a great take, swooped on by Muller. First points for the Army. Nice strike off the boots, hits the post, and away it goes. So score remains 4-0. We'll get to that combined services team. At fullback, Declan Felch. On the wings, Emmanuel Barker and Ratu Kanalangi. Centres are Jeremy Lincoln and Riley Yates. The 5'8", the vice-captain, is Jaden Minovsky. And the halfback is Tim Crellin. Up front, Daniel Nolan, Keil Edwards and Lachlan Northey. Back row of Isaac Ford, James Croydon and Craig Finnerty. On the bench, Henry Bryant, Chris Timothy, Isaac Mazurik, Manuel Grundy, Jack Oakey, Steve Taylor in jersey 24 and Kane Briggs in 25. But it's all the Australian Army at the moment. Their third set in succession. Still with the ball in their hands. Good charge this time from Muller. Getting towards halfway and making good ground, the Australian Army. Manu spinning in the tackle. Barnes from dummy half. It's that left boot of Rutley, a high torpedo. Tough to take, but done well. Felch looking up and able to get over his 20. Declan Felch from the Royal Australian Air Force. Big contact on Kanalangi. Combined services. Their first touch of the football. Trying to get out of their own end. Barker out of yardage. Play 3 for the combined services. Big shots. Croydon was there for the taking. And they've done well. Crellin, see space wide, a juggle. Able to hold that ball. Last play for the combined services, just shy of halfway. High kick from Minovsky coming forward, and he's knocked it on. So there's an opportunity for the Australian combined services. A knock on trying to attack the football was Muller after his spectacular first try. It is a very healthy crowd already, expecting over 40,000 here at Allianz Stadium. The St George Illawarra Dragons host the Sydney Roosters on the traditional ANZAC Day clash. But it's now the combined services with the ball in their hands. Minovsky feeds a scrum, but the referee wants him to go back again. First good look at the try line for the ADF combined services. Looking up, Felch, trying to find a way through. Being driven sideways and then eventually to ground. Looking down the short side, that's where they go. A dummy trying to make things happen. Here's Edwards. He gets the ball away, trying to break through Lincoln. 10 metres away. Combined services, their first time of asking. Ball out in front. Crellin, shaped to kick, decided to run. The captain. He's held 5 metres away in line with that left-hand upright. Edwards goes again. Collision. And it results in a try. Daniel Nolan using his strength and power to get his first try. And they've levelled up the combined services. Daniel Nolan, the leading aircraftman. Grew up in Nowra, a Nowra Warriors junior. Gets his first try of the day, and for both teams, the first time they're in the opposition 20, they get a try. This will be a big moment for a lot of these servicemen. Some deployed overseas, some local, some all around the country. They get celebrated by many of their own today. Looking forward to the traditional ANZAC ceremony that follows this game. Conversion successful. 6 points to 4. The combined services lead over the Australian Army. This traditionally has been the Australian Defence Force taking on the New Zealand Defence Force. It has been the last couple of years, but unfortunately the New Zealand Defence Force unable to travel this year, so weren't able to make the trip. So the combined services able to come in and making quite the impression. We resume off the boot of Rutley. Strong carry in the left arm from Muller. His front row partner, Nolan, scoring the first try for the combined services. Croydon, big contact. Getting towards the 30. And really starting to find their groove, the combined services. Tip on between forwards. Northey, that's his first carry. Thought about the short side, came back the open side through Finity. Just shy of halfway inside the 40. Krellin just outside when he kicks. Ball bounces between winger and fullback. Had to swoop and did good to be able to reel that ball in. WI. Strong collision on Taiatini. Making good ground with these runs is the Australian Army. Milad Noor that time. Scoot from dummy half. That looks promising from Barnes. Gets over halfway. Everybody wants a touch of the footy. Good interchange of passing through the middle. Last play for the Australian Army. Rutley, happy to kick high. Bringing the winger forward. Up goes Taiatini, trying to emulate what Muller did early doors. Knock on from the Army. It'll be a turnover. So the combined services will get the ball in their hands. Work it out of their own red zone, the combined services. Good charge, that helps out plenty. Edwards bringing Lincoln onto the ball. Strong run from him on halfway. Another opportunity, this time Kanalangi. Getting towards halfway, has a chance to offload. Decides to hold it. Kanalangi, a seaman, part of the Royal Navy. So all the crafts represented, the combined services, Australian Navy, Army and Royal Australian Air Force. Bounce pass to Yates in the headgear. Spinning, trying to find a way through. Last play. They bypass the 5'8", find the halfback Krellin. It's a dangerous kick, the chase is arriving. Taken safely. And Taiatini getting dangerously close to the touchline and bundled over it. That's a strong play. That's a statement from Isaac Ford. Two strong bodies in that charge. Taiatini backed himself, was shown the sideline. And Isaac Ford, who scored the first try in last year's game, able to bundle the winger into touch. Edwards from dummy half. This is Northey. Attracting 3 Australian Army defenders. Centre field. They conceded the first try, but could score the next 2. Krellin dropping Kanalangi underneath. Shaped out to the left are the combined services. They come that way. Krellin, nice ball on for Ford, but he was stopped in his tracks. Good defending by the Army, but for how long? Back to the open goes Edwards. Finds space, Northey, trying to carry players to the try line. And he's held just shy of that left-hand uprights. Edwards. Krellin. Kick across field, looped over the head and couldn't be caught by Kanalangi. And the ball will go out of play, maybe via the hands, was an option, but it'll be a changeover nonetheless. The crowd takes their breath. 30-minute halves in today's game. The build-up to the traditional ANZAC Day clash between the Sydney Roosters and St George Illawarra Dragons. It's a tough job working it out of their own end. The Australian Army got to do the tough stuff. For sure they can share the spoils. That's Noor taking that ball forward. Rutley running across field, dropping the ball underneath. Interchange of passing, keeping them guessing. Rutley inside the 40, got good hook on that kick. Knocked on and into touch. So great kick from Rutley, the vice-captain. Barker had it covered, his hands let him down. And just like that, the momentum swings once more. And it's back with the Australian Army now. They trail 6 points to 4, but they've got an attacking set inside the opposition 20. Thompson's out there, as is Hardman. He's got the ball in his hand, in line with the right-hand uprights. Rutley at first receiver, out the back. WI, he's knocked it on. David WI, so good defence from the combined services. Rushing up, able to force the error. And that surname sounds very familiar, I'm sure. David Tabuai, a bombardier from up in the Northern Territory, or from the Torres Strait, in fact. He does classify Hamiso Tabuai Fido from the Dolphins as one of his nephews. He's from Saibai Island in the Torres Strait. So for those watching in the Torres Strait, hello to you. David Tabuai playing for the Australian Army. Lingen trying to get outside his man. Bouncing off tackles. Confusion on who goes to dummy half. Krellin eventually gets there. Kanalangi, tall and rangy. Able to advance the cause a little further. Northey spinning in the tackle. Looks a good prospect. Does Lachlan Northey. Edwards, a dummy, trying to find his way through. Minovsky, bouncing out of tackles. Always a threat. Edwards. Reinforcements on. Also for the combined services. Mazurek. Ball in his hand. Last tackle. Krellin. He tries a spiral now. This is going to be tough. Drop the last one. Diatini touched that one as well. But out on the full is what's being ruled. His foot was on the touchline when he made contact with the ball. So they breathe a sigh of relief, the Australian Army. So the Army looking to get momentum from the error from the combined services. Not the best pass today. Manu picks it up. Trying to hobble through. Here's Carpenter, the craftsman. Almost left behind by Hardman. The offload. Manu picks up the spill. They've lost ground, the Australian Army. Too much chatting about plays. You've got to stay alive and stay with the play. Carpenter once more. Muller's got his arm up. He wants a kick on last play again. Manu. The halves combine. Rutley, and that's a hospital pass. He's lucky he caught it. Rutley wants the short side again. Tabuai through hands. This looks really promising, and it results almost in a try. But the ball pops out. The referee wants a decision, and he says knock on. What a try saver. Was ready to salute the great work in the try, but on impact, the ball popped out. And it's no try. And just like that, the tables turn. Filch sees a bit of space. 35 metres away. Minovsky. A rush out on Croydon. Doing well to pump his legs towards halfway. 12 minutes remaining in the first half. It feels like it's flown by here at Allianz Stadium. Looks a picture of a beautiful Saturday afternoon for what's a special day on the Australian calendar. And a penalty for the combined services. Jaden Minovsky with the ball in his hand. Another one of the able seamen in this team. He's played for the Manly Seagulls in the Sydney Shield. So a number of these players on display, played in pathway systems before. Forward the edge back rower. Pump those legs with those close contact meters. Still going, crawls, picks it up, bounces off tackles. He just wanted it too much, and he's got the try, Isaac Ford. What a charge. The RAAF, the Royal Australian Air Force leading aircraftsman, Isaac Ford. He scored last year, and with that desire and passion, he was always going to score again. 10 points to 4. The combined services, a slow start, but they're really picking up speed. Minovsky, the vice captain. Lining up. Some strapping on that hamstring. Doesn't look to be affecting his kicking. Successful with the first attempt. And successful with the second one. So 12 points to 4. The ADF combined services extend their lead to 8 points. Seen some really good aggression, seen really good post-contact meters, particularly. Sure, players falling off tackles, but real sheer will to really impress in front of this big crowd. Gates opened at 1:30. It's only been about 20 minutes. And the kick goes out on the full, so the idea was right. Just the execution a little bit off by Rutley. He's put it into touch, and it'll be a penalty. So the pressure piling on. So Gates opened at 1:30. It's sold out today. 7 of the 8 games in the National Rugby League sold out this round. So we're going to nudge over 40,000 today. Minovsky gone for a long touch finder and does well enough. We've already got about 10,000 in the ground. Good carry off the resumption. Zurich gets the offload away. Edwards bouncing out of tackles. Gets within 5. They're looking hot. The combined services. 2 in a row. Can they make it 3? Krellin, it was space wide, decides to drop Kanalangi underneath. Gets the offload. That's where the space is. Croydon, draw pass. Expertly done by the combined services. Jeremy Lingen is the beneficiary, and that's another try for the ADF combined services. They lead 16 points to 4. Tipping on over a compressed defensive line. And the offload was really the key in that move. Some of the St George Illawarra Dragons players in their suits on the sideline. They've arrived to have a look at the first game here on this big ANZAC Day fixture. So tries to Nolan, Isaac Ford and Jeremy Lingen for the combined services. Just a lone try from Ethan Muller. Jaden Minovsky, his toughest kick of the day, not the preferred side for a right foot kicker. Strikes it well, hooking around, and it's through. That's a top kick from Minovsky. 18 points to 4. Six minutes from half-time. Combined services putting on a great show. High kick-off holding in the breeze. And just waiting for it to come down. Timoti, he's out there. Edwards. Good carry from Croydon. So strong. Edwards. Across the ground they come. The combined services. Edwards scheming around dummy half. He's been so good. Hugh Edwards inside the 40. Krellin doesn't quite have the angle. And Tabuai has the ball in his hands. Feel like an age since the Australian Army have had it. Let's see if they can hold it and start to wrestle back some of that momentum. It's been tough going. Applies for a high tackle. Referee happy with the contact. Muller trying to march through tackles. Back to his feet. Noor playing centre but can easily fit into the back row. Versatile. Rutley comes around. Has the extra number. A dummy. And that was high, says the referee. So Corporal Barry Rutley trying to make things happen for his side. Trying to get them back in the game. Feels like the aim of the game is if you get into the opposition 20, both teams good enough to attack. It's Noor with the ball in his hand. Getting within 12 of the line. Ball's come out, and it's a penalty, says the referee. Got a tip from his touch judge. So they'll get another chance. The Australian Army, they need to score. Players lining up to get the football. Timoti. Barnes. Rutley with the footwork. Taken by Bryant, who's out there for the combined services. The wind picks up. Out of dummy half. It's going to be hard to stop. Good turn. And a try for Lachlan Barnes. Can that flow the momentum the way of the Australian Army? There wasn't too much to it. The gap slightly opened. And he was more than happy to accept. Lachlan Barnes scores for the Australian Army. 18 points to 8. Private Lachlan Barnes there, able to get the try for his team. Muller looking to add the extra 2. And does just that. 18 plays 10. Lachlan Barnes, the latest man to get his name on the try scorers list. Looking for another footy to get us started. 2.5 minutes from half time. It's proving to be quite an entertaining game as the lead up to the NRL Telstra Premiership game between the Georgia Warrior Dragons and Sydney Roosters. And back again with full force, but shared and driven back. So both teams not giving an inch. Rutley through hands. Looking to spread. Trying something a little bit different. Zayatini heading forward. Spinning in the tackle, good in contact. Both sides. Barnes from dummy half. Manu. Long cut out ball. Back on the inside. Wallace, last play for the Army. Manu goes high again. It was a play that led to the first try. Muller went up again. Great take this time from Felsh. Needed to be made, but it definitely is a place they shall continue to go. And a big shot by Noor on Barker. You'll remember that one. Lincoln. Dummy half, trying to get through Yates. Driven back, good contact. Hanging on in the tackle. Referee going back, says we're going to clean up that ruck. Spinning onto the back was Timoti. Through hands, popped wide. Lingen again, a dummy. Trying to get through with that fend. He looks the most likely. Last play for the combined services. Krellin goes high. Floats in the breeze. Tabuai takes it well. Bounces out of a tackle. Those Australian Army jumpers look a lot like the Dolphins jumpers in the NRL. Trying to channel his inner Hamso. Last play of the first half. Referee says knock on. Didn't get the last play, which frustrated Rutley. But that is half-time here at Allianz Stadium in the curtain raiser on ANZAC Day. It is the 80th. Back on for the second half. The team talks have been done. Let's see who gets it done. 18 points to 10. The combined services lead the Australian Army off the boot of Rutley of the Australian Army. And back it come through Timoti. Central Coast Roosters. Junior. Croydon. He's been really good, dominating that edge for the combined services. It's always a healthy rivalry. Minovsky going across field between the Navy, the Army and the Air Force. Of course, all celebrating today, or paying their respects today, should I say. Get bragging rights in front of a big crowd, which continues to grow. Good carry from Mazurek. Last play. Krellin goes high. Coming forward and taking that one safely. Zayatini. Everyone wants to put their best foot forward. Tapiawaya, dummy half. And Muller, who scored the try of the day, the first try in fact, carries the ball forward. Manu, early ball wide. Wallace spinning in the tackle. He's held by a shoestring. Tough work in the middle being done by Fermor. Manu, a lot of time to kick, goes high rather than long. Taken safely by Felch, beats one. 30 metres away from his own try line. Forward there to help out. One of the best for the combined services in the first half. They venture towards halfway. The combined services. Kanalangi bouncing out of tackles. Getting towards halfway. Timoti very keen to get involved for the combined services. Krellin, the gap opens up, but he wasn't able to secure it. Isaac Ford. Could see that from here. If Ford caught that ball, he was very unlikely to be stopped. But an opportunity goes begging. They have the lead, still an 8-point lead. The combined services, of course, in the green and gold. The Australian Army in the red and white. The Australian Army celebrated their 125th anniversary. They claimed the Glebe Dirty Reds, who play in the Sydney Shield. 24-24 draw against them. The jerseys look quite similar. Glebe Dirty Reds and the Australian Army in this game. Good carry this time. Nice use of the pass. Wallace. Another line break for the Australian Army. Both teams happy to attack. Manu finds Rutley. Ball out in front. Nor likes it, but a really good tackle from Barker needed to be made. Rutley wanted to go down the short side once more, then comes back infield. Last play, says the referee. They go Rutley down the short side. Grubber kicks in behind off bodies, and it's 6 more tackles. The Australian Army have it again, looking to get within a try. His backside, and will get within 10. Shaped out to the left. Looking on, good offload. Second phase play. Shaped out to the left once more. The Australian Army looking to reduce the margin. Manu Tabuai, that was the money ball, but it wasn't able to be taken by Muller. The idea was right, and another opportunity goes begging, this time in the Australian Army attacking half. So both teams unable to capitalise on really good looks to start this second half. We play 30-minute halves. 25 minutes to go. Combined services. Chance to work it out from their own again. Had Yates on his shoulder, did Ford, decided not to use him. Quick play of the ball, Minovsky sees no markers. 10 metres from halfway. And a penalty too. That's really helpful. So a piggyback out of their own half. Been really good in attack both sides. Combined services maybe a little bit better in that department. And that ball doesn't find touch. That's not what's required. If you're trying to close it out, still plenty of time. But he's at a turning point. Rutley from dummy half. Tried so hard today, Rutley. Dane Thompson driven into the turf. Really good tackle from Mazurek. Grundy, Manuel Grundy out there. To the left they come. Carpenter. Down the short side, Tabuai decides to play Wallace this time. It's a right move and gets them within 15. Last tackle. Manu decides to run. Finds Tabuai, who does the same. David Tabuai. The pass just didn't land. He's picked up his attacking prowess in this second half. As David Tabuai. They need points. Combined services through Daniel Nolan to a great solo try in the first half. Lincoln in to help out for his side. Edwards, now Felsh. Coming in the fullback and taking players on. It's still going. 20 metres post-contact. And they're at halfway, the combined services. Wanted it out in front, but a good charge from Northey. Thought it may have hurt him. And a penalty for the combined services. They've got the roll on. Big crowd in now. Dare say it's the biggest crowd many of them would have played in front of. So it's a good time to show your stuff, that's for sure. Lincoln taps. Croydon's moved into the middle from the edge. Edwards and Krellin couldn't take that one safely. Wanted a better pass. The combined services unable to capitalise on that field position. Let's see what the Australian Army can do. Of course, today is 111 years since the Gallipoli landing. It's a very special day for a lot of these servicemen playing in this game. A day of commemoration. Tommy from Nor, which of course the National Rugby League does so well in honouring this day for those who have fallen, lest we forget. Shot down. Manu running right to the line. They've got numbers. Doesn't need numbers, Carpenter. And held on to by Lincoln. Manu. Straight in hard from Fermor. Last play. The Army shaping up here. Manu. Rutley. Cut out ball. Lands on the chest of Taiatini. And he's held. Rutley reefing those passes 10, 20 metres across the ground. Not sure if he has a touch background, but he definitely has a career in it if he wants to. Croydon, look at him, advancing them up the field. The combined services, out ball, in ball. Nolan spinning out of tackles. Doesn't want to do this fancy stuff. He'll do the hard and fast grunt work. Minovsky's decided to run a bit more in this second half. Edwards, another big carry from Mazurek. Ball comes out. Play on. Ford bounces around like a pinball. Croydon beats his man. Kanalungi comes into the centres. A fend from Kanalungi. Still going. Last tackle for the combined services. Krellin with a crossfield kick. Barker's the intended target. Gets there in time and applies the pressure. 1 metre out from their try line. The Australian Army needing to muscle up, showing some of that spirit that we celebrate today. Muller. Another strong carry this time from Collins, but the ball's come out. A knock on from the Australian Army. They're 8 points down, 18 minutes to play. The combined services have a really good chance to put some space between them and the Army. Of course, last year's games, it's generally, as we said, the Australian Defence Force and New Zealand Defence Force. Last year, the New Zealand Defence Force won 16 points to 8. The year before, Australian Defence Force 22-16 over New Zealand Defence Force. Who's going to win the 2026 edition? Right now, it's combined services 18-10 over the Australian Army. Filch takes it from the scrum. Looking up, marshalling the troops. Lincoln has space to run. Already scored a try, Jeremy Lincoln. Ball's come out, but it's been stripped. Clear as day for the referee. No arguments there. Croydon taps and heads forward for the Air Force. Croydon. Edwards. Ball along the line, a big fend, and Mazurek. He's been threatening to do that all day. That left arm carry, that right arm fend. They couldn't withstand it any longer. And they push away the combined services team, kicking away to a 22-10 lead. Big fend, able to get through. He's been dominant. Minovsky setting up. Going to extend this lead to 24. Plenty of red V jumpers in the crowd today. Waiting on the St George Illawarra Dragons, taking on the Sydney Roosters. ANZAC Day ceremony before that. Minovsky lines it up and puts it through. 24 plays 10 here at Allianz Stadium. Combined services lead. 15 minutes to play. Really good platform for these players. Of course, these are the servicemen as part of the Army, Navy and Defence Force, getting the chance to show their rugby league chops. Krellin takes it safely. Big carry from Nolan. Put on his back. Australian Army trying to stem the flow. of his runs to no avail. He's been really good, as have all the forwards for the combined services. Oki spinning in the tackle. Minovsky finds Ford, changing direction as he got the pass. Finerzi held smack bang on halfway and wins a penalty. Last tackle penalty, those ones hurt. There's been too many of them today from the Australian Army. Such a great showcase. Showing many Australians, the versatility of those in service. Player falling awkwardly, grimacing, you can see. Injury for a member of the combined services team. It looks like Isaac Ford, a leading air craftsman. Felt like he got caught awkwardly under that tackle. It's always the innocuous ones. Medical team come out to assess as well. Players get the chance to have a breather. 13 minutes from home. The ADF combined services lead. Tries Lingen, Nolan, Ford and Oki. So far for the combined services. Just the true tries for the Australian Army. Ethan Muller and Lachlan Barnes. That is Ford coming from the field. Touching his ribs, which isn't a good sign. Resume with the combined services, 25 metres away. Finity drops the ball back inside for Nolan as the middle forwards combine. Krellin, nice ball for Croydon, jolted in the tackle from Carpenter. 12 minutes from home. They can sew it up here. Krellin tried to kick. It looked like the kick went backwards off his boot. How did he do that? But we play on. 10 metres away. Lingen presented himself down the short side, decided to go open. Minovsky, grubber kick through the line, off bodies. Picked up 6 more tackles for the combined services. Set up so they can try and put it away. Nolan getting really close again. The referee happy with the put down, and that's a try. Arms in the air from the combined services. They know how important that one is, and it looks like they might just get the bragging rights. Sheer determination, will. We hear those terms a lot on days like these. And for his second try today, Daniel Nolan has shown just those qualities. Jaden Minovsky been perfect with the boot today. A real sharpshooter, which I'm sure a lot of people in this game can claim that they are. Very precise, very accurate. And knocks it through. 30 plays 10 minutes remaining in the curtain raiser to the big traditional ANZAC Day clash between the St George Illawarra Dragons and Sydney Roosters. Crowd packing in. Still over an hour to kick off, but there's still plenty here. And they're being treated to a very high-quality game of rugby league. Nolan, the try scorer. Slow to get to his feet. Croydon in the contest. Seated. Lincoln. Trying to wrestle through the contact. Kanalangi, been one of the best for the combined services. Krellin. Strong charge again from Finity. Auckland Ipswich brothers up in Queensland. A high kick, not too deep, giving Barker a chance. It's taken safely by the Australian Army through Nor. Diatzini takes the dummy half run. 9 minutes to go. 20 points the margin now. It blew out. It was very close at half time. 18-10 was the score. It's been 2 tries since the resumption. That didn't look like a very good tackle, and it was penalised for Nerty. And as a result, it's caused an injury. Tap and go quickly. Furmore. The Australian Army loading up. Finds his fronts. Manu Carpenter. They've been hounding this combined services side all afternoon. Meeks is out there at dummy half. Furmore steadies the ship for the Australian Army. Meeks, Rutley, really good line run, but they were up to it, the combined services. Last play for the Australian Army. They need to strike. They cut out Rutley and they've knocked on. They lost their way a bit. The Australian Army, sometimes you try so hard to play well on days like these, and then when it's not going your way, you try a little bit harder. And that seems to be what's happening for the Australian Army. Combined services being really measured in their approach. Yates, the centre, being very good out of yardage. That's what they've needed. Felch at the back. Tall and rangy. Got a good pass on him as well. Krellin shaped a kick. Goes underneath. For Finity, who's been everywhere in this second half. Minovsky inside the 40. Straight down the throat of Tabuai though. Looking up. Combines with Muller. Bouncing out of tackles. Got good field position to the Army. Down the short side through Tabuai. Trying to get in and away. Plays his rugby league up in the territory. Wallace picked up and drilled down by Croydon and company. Manu just rolling through. Definitely nothing wrong with the go forward for the Australian Army. Meeks trying to get through the big forwards of the combined services. Last play. Manu finds Rutley. Chip in behind, a little bit too deep. And Felch done well to get himself in the in goal for a 20-metre tap. Goes quickly, backs turn from the Australian Army. Now awkward collision has resulted in Carpenter clutching at his arm, and they're going to run straight at him. 5 minutes to go. ADF Combined Services 30, lead the Australian Army 10. Lingen keen to help out. Another go from Muller. Croydon out of dummy half. Krellin, cut out ball. Minovsky, this looks good. Yates couldn't quite find the pass. Another play enters the fray in. Casey Rhodes. Ball's come out, but it was stolen. They're going to go shot a goal to extend their lead. Says Captain Krellin. Well, Minovsky, 5 from 5 so far with conversions. If he's on fire with the boot. They want a tee. They're looking for one, but there's not one presenting itself. So out comes the blue shirt to provide all the ADF combined services. Five tries to 2. A lot of it's been off Jaden Minovsky. And he's missed it. One of his more easier attempts today. He's put it wide. Score remains 30 points to 10. Young fella delivering the ball. 20-metre dropout. Rutley finds some space. Kanalangi looking up. Takes the first carry of the set. 30 points to 10 as we approach the ANZAC Day ceremony, and following that, St George Illawarra Dragons taking on the Sydney Roosters. Dangerous tackle in the background once he passed on Lachlan Northey. Frustration setting in for the Australian Army. It's a day of high emotion. Rose. Getting limited time, but doing much with it. Bryant. Another strong run and another penalty. Under 2 minutes. See if they can get one more try. The combined services. Lincoln comes in to help out. As he's done, making that swinging around. Penalty. He's been sin-binned. Millard Noor. Not how he wanted this game to end. We're not going to be down for very long. It's only 90 seconds to go. A 1 out of the defensive line. The combined services looking to finish in style. Nolan. On for Meeks. 8 metres away, centre field. Put the icing on the cake. Krellin finds Felch. Came in hard. Jammed well. Wallace. In line with the right hand upright, they're not letting go. Referee will penalise them all day if he needs to. Under 50 seconds, or may well be the last set of the game. Krellin finds Croydon, hard end straight of course. 2 metres away. Dummy half scoot trying to get low and get in. Not quite, held a metre away. Croydon, Krellin, dummies, the skipper. He's tried so hard all day and he gets his reward. They're coming to celebrate the combined services. The captain leads from the front and they salute with a win today, the ADF Combined Services. Really good performance from them, very polished. Tim Krellin been guiding them around the park very well. Looked as if he was hurled, didn't stop fighting, and was able to spin and score. Minovsky missed the penalty goal just moments ago. We'll see if he can finish with 6 from 7 off the boot today. In one of the highlights for the Combined Services. Comes in and slots it through. That is the final score, 36 points to 10. The ADF Combined Services do the job over the Australian Army on a significant day, ANZAC Day. I'm sure that will live in the memory of those players for a very long time. Congratulations to the ADF. 6 points, 6 tries to 2. 2 for Nolan, Lingen, Ford also scored. Some really good work from Oki, who got a try too. And for the Army, 2 tries for them, Ethan Muller and Lachlan Barnes. But it wasn't enough. The ADF Combined Services defeating the Australian Army. I'm Tony Storno. It's been an honour bringing you this game as the curtain raiser for ANZAC Day. Stand by for the National Rugby League. The St George Illawarra Dragons